Hey guys, this is Sarah, and this is Tip and Trick Tuesday. So, this week's tip and trick was inspired by a good friend. She is not a weight loss surgery patient, but she's a good friend of mine that I know in my personal life. And she was talking about losing weight and stressing to me, keep in mind she's tiny, but whatever. We all have different things that we strive for and we want to see our bodies do. But she is a very healthy individual. And she was talking to me about needing to lose 10 or 15 pounds. So we got to talking, and I started talking about some of the things that I do. And later that night, I sent her a picture of me because I really stressed preparation. So later that night, I sent a picture of me weighing my food on a scale. And she texted me back and said, "Wow, you are way more dedicated than I could ever be." So this tip of the week is about dedication, really, and about measuring your foods. Now, do I measure? It's impossible to measure everything. But my food scale, my half a cup, my fourth a cup measurements, my, those little cup measurements where you measure the liquid, those are all things that are a part of my daily journey. Without those, I would be lost. Now, to each his own, and I know everybody has different ideas of what they think is important. But I not only think it's important to measure those things so that I don't eat too much, I also think it's important to use measurements so to know that I'm eating enough. I know that when I don't measure out the 3 ounces of protein on my food scale, one of two things usually happens. A, I end up not eating enough for fear of overeating. B, I end up eating too much, which is what often happens when we go to restaurants. Not all the time, but often it will happen. It happened Sunday night. My husband wanted to go eat Mexican, so we went. I got shrimp and I got refried beans. Now, part of the reason I overate was because it was really yummy and I didn't want to stop eating, which is my own personal, I have issues. But the other part was I had nothing saying you can only eat this amount and then you need to be done. I just think it's really important. Those things will be my food scale, my cups, my measuring cups. Those will be things that will always be a part of my journey. I am hoping to pass those tips on to my children when they get big enough. There's plenty of times where I will measure out a certain amount and then I don't finish it. But in general, I try really hard to measure them out and stick to that plan. There are also times when I measure it out and then I think I'm not satisfied and I might eat a bite or two of something else. But just as an overall scale, those are things that I really try to follow. I know that this information is nothing new to anybody, the things I'm saying today, but I just wanted to give you that tip because I really think measuring, using a food scale, those are all things that could be important to anybody's journey, weight loss surgery or not. I know that before weight loss surgery, several times when I had tried to lose weight on my own, that I was following a plan and it would say, eat this amount of protein, eat this amount of chicken, eat this amount of fish. So I actually had been using those tools long before I ever had weight loss surgery. Now, did I use them as regularly as I do now? No. I didn't have to. I feel like I have to now. So when I go out of town or when we are at a restaurant, I try to eyeball and be mindful of my eating, but sometimes it's hard. I am already starting to worry about that cruise, guys. I'm seriously considering packing my food scale, but I hate to just pop up on the cruise ship with my scale. So I don't know what I'll do. I can make healthy choices without it for sure, but it is just so much easier. That's It's funny. That's my Uncle Don. Funny. To be able to use those things. Now, some things I probably will pack on my trip. My kitty spoons and my kitty fork. I'll probably pack those. I may not. Depends on how much of a freak I want to look like. At this point out in the journey, I don't care. You know, I may not pack my food scale, but I seriously may pack like a cup, like a measuring cup. The ones I use the most are my 1/2 cup and my 1/4 cup. I use my 1/4 cup a lot to measure things out. So that's my tip of the week, guys. I measure out my foods. I use a food scale. You know, when I don't have those things available, I try to eyeball it. I try to use, you know, that palm of your hand judgment. Sometimes that's easier said than done. And when I don't do those things, I end up overeating or not eating enough. And then I, you know, pay for it later. So, yeah, I just thought I would share that. It's all about dedication, guys. It's our journey. Make it yours. And don't have regrets. So, no day but today. I'll see you later in the week for my week 72 update. Bye.